What's up, guys? Today we're playing Epic 7 and it's day number 66 in our Noob to Awesome series, and we're starting to finish up that late game and get into end game content. Now, I know late game and end game are pretty subjective, so let me tell you how I measure it. I consider late game to include clearing tower level 5, all level 13 hunts on auto battle, Abyss 100, all the bosses of Hell Raid, and also episode number 4. And so until I've completed all those things, I don't consider myself to be an endgame player. There are a crazy amount of events going on for the 5th anniversary if you haven't checked that out yet. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a small break from this progression to improve our gear. I know equipment is a really hard part of the game, and we're really going to get into it over the next few episodes. First thing I want to do today is start off with some summons. You guys know I like to warm up with this. It just makes me feel good. Hopefully we get something. Let's see what we have today. No Shine. We have Ruzid. Not as useful as he once was. As you guys know, he has a specialty change, and that specialty change was very good for a really long time. But not really used now because he's too slow. He's still very good if you want to use him, as long as you're not trying to take first turn. Alright, next thing up, we're going to go into the connection. We're getting these through the guild event. Let's see what we get here. We do get a spark. That is nice. Can we get a 5-star? No crowd today.
So, I'm confident I can take you down. Do you want to spar with me?
Rose. Rose is actually a very good hero. You can utilize her into the expedition. You can also use her very limited into PvP, or if you want to bring her into Wyvern as your frontline tank in a one-shot team, she works good too because she can buff the attack buff there, but not fast enough to take first turn reliably unless you're going on a team that you know you're going to outspeed. Butcher. You know, I don't use him. If you guys are using Butcher, let me know. He does have a specialty change. They keep trying to buff him as much as possible, but he just does not catch fire. And no spark there either. No luck. Ains. Poor Ains. You look cool, but just can't do anything with you. Now we do have some of the Moonlight heroes. So let's go ahead and start off with some sparks here. Nothing. Can I get a Camilla?
At your service. I'll be the sword that protects you.
You know, I've seen some people use her into Katie's 13. I've also seen a couple people use her into Abyss 100. I don't get it. She has a buff, and other than that, I just don't see what she has to offer. Let me know how you guys are using Yoon, and maybe I can jump on the board there too. All right, fill in the hero journal. We got a new hero. It's a priest.
Well, I suppose I don't have much choice.
Oh, my Katie's 13 just got a little bit better.
Got it?
Very nice. She's very useful into Hall of Trials. I'm going to use her in the Katie's 13 along with my Lorena. I'm still missing a Camilla though. You could also utilize her with the Immortality and a very, very high effect resist with a candlestick to troll onto your arena team if you want to. But she's one of the coolest looking characters for sure, and I'm definitely going to end up using Sinful. 100% going to use Sinful. Anos. Stop it. 2 more to go. Can we get her? Come on, Camilla. Suthin, he's just a weirdo. I don't see a use for him either, and he's creepy. It's like Baal Sazan, right? They're just too creepy for me. I can't utilize them. They're just going to go into the inventory forever.
When I speak, you listen. When I move, you follow. Thus, you will prove your faithfulness.
Oh my goodness. That is amazing. But also, why can't you give me one of the heroes I want? Come on, Smile Gate. Oh my goodness. Give me one of the heroes I really want. So happy for a Moonlight 5. I was not expecting it. Honestly, I would be good with Angel of Light. Astromancer Elena, though, just doesn't have as many uses as I want. She came out and was awful. They buffed her almost immediately. She looks amazing, Really good looking hero, really good looking animation as well, but I struggle to utilize her into the meta. When we look at her S number 3, she's going to hit everyone, decreasing buff duration, unhealable, and restrict, and grant Star Blessing. This is very important. Star Blessing gives her 15% attack and a critical hit damage. When we look at her S number 2, or her passive ability, at the start of the battle, grant Star Blessing for 1 turn, and when you have Star Blessing, enemy cannot counterattack. This blocks counterattacking mechanism. It also blocks Elbrus, but it does not block focus, which is important because the focus, something like Seaside Bologna, does not work on her. So you have to have Star Blessing, right? You have it for 1 turn, you get it again for 2 turns. As long as you don't get dispelled and they can't counter you for potentially 2 to 3 turns, you have to utilize this in a very, very aggressive manner so that you can win in that amount of time. Something like a Bellion or something like a new Moonlight Landy, you know, they will not work when you bring in Astromancer Elena, but you have to have a very high quality level of gear because she doesn't do much else. She doesn't hit super hard on her S3, she doesn't hit super hard on her S number 1, so you're only bringing her there to block the RNG from the other team, and you need 3 other heroes who are very good to bring you that win. Still, she is pretty amazing. I'm a little disappointed. If you're gonna give me someone new, I mean, can I get a Moonlight Bologna? Man, that would be amazing. Could I get something like a man, what's her name? The Gambler. Man, she's right here too. Lionheart Sermia, she is an amazing hero. I would have really liked one of those. Straz, Zio, I don't mean to complain, but I really had my heart set on those. Let's go ahead. We can one-tap this, right? Okay, we didn't one-tap that. That's okay. Maybe we're going to pull it in next time, but building up this hero collection for whoever gets to inherit this account. Speaking of building up the hero collection, we're going to go into specialty change, and I got a couple here for you guys as well. Dollmaker Pearlhorizon, you know, I don't like her. She doesn't have a 100% chance to do anything. She's so much RNG. Half the time you bring her into battle and she just doesn't work. So I don't like to utilize her, but I saw an opportunity to finish her specialty change, so we get this one done. The Rose Apostle, you can go to episode number 2, 9S2, and it only takes a couple of runs. You can also do this into your labyrinth in the Rose Kingdom there. Now, the 500 artificial creatures, this one is very difficult because when you click on go, it takes you to episode number 1, which we don't want to farm. You want to do this in unrecorded history 28. You get 10 per run, so that'll give you about 50 runs or so, and you'll finish this out. Let's go ahead and see what she looks like.
Shall I make you pretty?
Honestly, super creepy. I love the grin. She's just every one of my nightmares rolled up into one. I wish they would finish out the Banshee specialty change, and I'm happy that we got her. Hopefully she gets a buff in the future and she gets something that is 100% so we can rely on her a little bit more. But we also have Helga here. Now Helga, you have to do the Occultist. When you do this, it again takes you into episode number 1, which we don't want to do. Unrecorded history 13 is where I farmed out all 500 of these cultists. When we go to unrecorded history number 13, they don't even have the cultists there, right? It says something completely different. So this one is very confusing to a lot of players. Let's go ahead and go there now. These ones here, they say Callus. These are all considered those enemies that you have to kill. So that's a very good place that you can farm that out. Let's go in. We're going to see Helga specialty change as well.
Come at me.
Helga is a major upgrade to her original. I like her quite a lot. She is a solid 4 to maybe early 5-star equivalent. She does a ton of damage. She works on a ton of different kinds of builds, and I utilize her quite a lot into a lot of content. Her with the Carmen Rose, two of my very favorite heroes. I finished both their specialty changes, and you know what? We're gonna 6-star her as well. Now, if you guys don't know about this, when we come into our ongoing events and go to the point shop right here, we do have a potion of ascension. What this does is it's going to take you all the way from no matter where you are to a 6-star. Now, it does not go into the levels. It just increases your star level. So that's very good. If you utilize it on a 3-star, takes you all the way to 6-star, and now you can have you can skip all of the spirit blooms that you need. Very, very good. So you see here our 3-star. Let's go ahead and we're gonna promote her all the way up. There's the potion. And here we go. You know, I wish that this were like gratifying in some way. There's no animation, there's no nothing. It's just down and dirty, get it done. There you go, all the way to 6-star, but only level 30 still. That's all right, we're gonna boost her up. Next, I think what we're gonna do as well is we're gonna go ahead and promote onto our Doris. I do love Doris and I have quite a lot of materials, so let's go ahead and bring her up. She's a really good tank as we go into things like a Ravi, as we go into a lot of the dark heroes that are very common into Guild War. This is my Guild War hero, and this is more or less the build that I'm going to get her on, right? I want her to be a little bit faster, maybe 175, 180, and then it's all going to be defense, HP, and also effect resist. So looking forward to utilizing her quite a lot as well. And I think the last thing we're going to do in here is I have not done Ram yet, have I? If you have a Ram, if she's just sitting and waiting, come in and do the imprints. You see that we're going to get 20 more epic. Even if you have no intention of taking Ram to 6-stars, then you can utilize it on someone else, maybe bring her up a little bit later. But it's basically a free 6-star hero. I'm not sure if they intended to give us a free 6-star Ram and a free 6-star Soul, but you can unlock the SSS and immediately promote her, which is good. But I don't have gear, so she's going to have to wait just a little bit. Let's go now into Arbiter Vildred. This is the hero that I do want to finish. Yeah, we pulled him, and I don't know how much I'm going to utilize him, but we're going to try our best, at least to farm. And he needs a sword. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, before we get into crafting that gear, let's come in and talk about one thing. As you're going through Abyss, we start to get this Lifesteal gear, which is very, very good. There are two different things that you get. The first one is Gavalites. This is not worth upgrading because you cannot reforge it. So we already know it's below our equipment score that we're going for. I want to have a 29 or a 30 on level 85 gear. That one is a 24, 27, 28. Those are getting a little bit closer. This one is a 29, but it's an attack necklace. And then the boots come in at a 28. So for me, this is not something I'm going to do. I am going to come in and all 6 of these pieces, I'm just going to get rid of them. Now you might say, why? You can utilize them on somebody, and that's probably true, but I can't reforge it. So you're automatically holding yourself back, right? Now we're going to come in, and this is the gear that we really want. We want at least a 32 at level 0, but this comes in, this level 88 gear is max substats. So this is really amazing stuff that we get from doing your like level 90 to 98 into Abyss. Make sure that you're leveling this stuff up. It's really, really good as we're going into things like a Champion Zerato. It's really good in something like a Violet or even a Remnant Violet, right? People who want to utilize this. If you're a Tempest Surin user, really good one here as well. So let's go ahead and we're going to level this up. So pretty decent roll. at a plus number 3. I want a 42. I have a 53. So we're already on a very good track. And that's because we started at a high level to begin with. Very good. Max roll into health. It's kind of all over the place. I would prefer for it to be all into attack or into crit, but we're seeing some really good rolls. And this means that we're now going to come in and develop bruiser type heroes, right? Again, with the champion Zerato, with the Violet, with the Remnant Violet, with a Tempest Surin. These are all great heroes to utilize this on. A 6 and a 6. Well, I think it was a it was a 7 and a min roll. So not amazing, but at plus 12, I want to be at least 73. That will put me over 90 when I get to plus 15. And that's exactly where we want to be, right? We want to be somewhere between 90 and 100 when we finish this gear out. If you're wondering if I'm clicking randomly, I absolutely am. I don't know why I do that, but I'm just clicking whatever it is in front of me. I do like this as well. You can set the auto select, which is pretty fun. And we get another very decent roll there. We get an 8 into health. So we want somewhere 90 to 100. We get a 98. That is perfect. This is going to go great on somebody. Okay, and we see that plus 8 again. Loving that. At a plus 6, I want 52. I got a 63. Very good here. If you guys are not doing Abyss, you know, you really need to get into it. This is a very good set to have. Even if you know, go in a few levels and then you have to stop, even if you take breaks, you know, you get the higher up you get to go, the more you can purify, which means that every day you get more rewards as well. Now we have health and we have effectiveness, so not as good onto something like a Violet or Revenant Violet, but Tempest Surin, still very good. Also very good into Champion Zerato here as well. I want to use up some of these armor charms because I want to save some of the general charms for when we go into crafting up this weapon that we have coming forward, right? Alright, let's just finish it out. Very good, we got a 97. Nice piece of armor there as well. I think, you know, I think all of these are just going to turn out great. Plus 6 into crit, that is a max roll. Then we get a plus 4, which is pretty decent as well. We haven't gotten a lot of crit, probably any crit so far. So hopefully this can run, you know, 20-25% crit chance. Wouldn't mind that. For level 88 piece of gear at plus 9, I want at least a 62. I have a 74, 20% crit chance. Let's go. I don't know why helmets always run crit chance. Oh my goodness, 25%. That is great. Almost 5 average roll there. That is really, really nice. I really like to see that. That's really going to help us. Now I think if we can get an attack here, can we get a really great roll into attack? Is that too much to ask for? It might be. Okay, small roll into speed. Look at that, plus 99. That turned out really good. Let's go ahead and we are going to, let's go run the ring next. Plus 9 into health. This is rolling a lot of health today. A lot of health. 5 into crit chance. Not a max roll, but still very good. Okay, and then a plus 4. Very good. Ah, man, I like this. Getting these crit chance up. That's what I like to see. Another roll into health. That's another 8, right? Or was the first one 9? Anyway, we're averaging 8, which is perfect. This is going to roll. I think we're over 100 now. I'm gonna guess. This is a guess. 102. That's my guess. Let's see what we got. I like to save these small pieces that come from the labyrinth for leveling us up. 103. Man, I was so close. Look at that. 6 and a 5 and a 5, or 6 and a 6 and a. It's a lot. Okay, this is a great piece. I do like that. If you guys don't know too, I have this piece. I'm not going to roll it yet because I don't know who to use it on. But the speed set, the priest gear, this comes from the guild Ancient Inheritance, which is a really great thing to have as well. If you guys aren't in a guild, if you're not looking for a guild, you're missing out on a ton of rewards, especially right now as we're doing Ancient Inheritance. So try and keep it in mind. You know, there's a lot of guilds out there that are not very involved. They're casual guilds where you can just come in, you know, you don't have to talk to anybody, you don't have to do anything except help them in their guild war and help them achieve greater results into the Ancient Inheritance. And I think there's a place for you to get these rewards. The boots not looking as nice as the other ones. I want to have at least a 73. I'm at an 81, so overall pretty low. And that's because we got a low roll into speed and a low roll here into crit. Can we get... I think I need a max roll to kind of save this piece. 91, still okay. Oh my goodness, is that a +2? That is just awful. I'm telling you, here's what happened. I had that ring, I was feeling good, and then Smilegate's like, get back in your place. And next thing you know, here I am. Now, I don't have a necklace that I'm going to run today. I am going to eventually bring this one up right here, but I don't have anyone to use it on right now. So we're going to go ahead and, you know what, let's do it. Just for you guys, right? Just for you guys so you can see the whole set. I was going to try and save some resources, but I was over 50 million when we started. Let's go ahead and burn it down. You know, I'm utilizing this this necklace on Carrot, believe it or not. Broken set onto Carrot because the last time I rolled it, it rolled into speed and effectiveness. It rolled like 30% effectiveness. This one, not quite as high, and that's all right. We're at 83. I wanted to be at 73. This is going to be pretty close. I'm going to say it's going to roll into the 98. Let's see about that, huh? 98. 96. Okay, not too bad. Max roll there, so I was a few off. Max roll there. So who would this work on? You know, people that we utilize an attack neck on is somebody who does not critical hit, right? Senya comes to mind, but then we have the critical hit here. So it's kind of mixed a little bit. Try and utilize things that roll really high into your crit damage, but low into health, and then supplement with this necklace, and I think we're going to be good. But right now, no idea who I'm going to use it on, but still, man, this whole set rolled fantastic. Really nice. Here we go. We're going to start crafting some equipment for our heroes. For those of you who are with me for the very first time, or those of you who haven't seen a crafting video before, we're going to flash up our targets on the screen. These are goals that I set for myself to make sure that I have gear that I can reforge that will be good into the end game. But that's not the whole story, right? You can have gear with really high gear score that's not as usable as some other types of gear, so combinations also matter, and we're going to go over that. I don't have too much, so we are going to craft up some weapons here and talk about what we get. Now, when I look at rare equipment, I don't keep any of the rare equipment, and you have a choice to sell or extract. I only extract the gear that I'm going to utilize in the equipment conversion, and for this is going to be something like a speed set, pen set, you know, something like a counter set. These are the gear that I like to have. It depends on how you want to play and which gear you're going to do, but I would say keep the ones you want to extract, sell everything else, because it costs so much to come in and craft up this kind of gear that you don't want to run out of money. A lot of people have really hard time with gold management, and so this is going to help you out quite a lot to recover some of that money that you would have lost from just extracting it. When we have a heroic piece of gear, I will not roll anything with a flat stat, so that's going to be an automatic sell for me. Okay, and now we have a equipment score 20. For a starting piece, heroic piece of gear, I want equipment score at least 23. Now, if this were a 4 speed, then you might try it, but for me, I think the gear score is too low, and I'm not going to be chasing that speed. So we're just going to go ahead and get rid of that one. When we have weapons, we cannot change the main stat, and we cannot roll defensive stats. That means that none of your subs are going to be defense flat or defense percent, so keep that in mind. When I have a heroic piece of gear, I want to have 3 substats that match. So we see speed, we see crit chance. I will not roll it unless it has an attacking stat as well. So this means that attack or HP has to be present for me to roll this piece of gear. Sometimes you can roll it with effectiveness here, but if you have too many pieces like that, if you have too many helmets and too many weapons with speed, crit chance, effectiveness, or crit chance, crit damage effectiveness, then you're going to find that you're not hitting very hard because you don't have that damaging stat. Also, when you see a 4 speed here, 5 is the highest, but 4 is the most likely roll that you're going to get as your highest. This is something you can choose to roll if you're going to chase speed, but I'm not going to do that, so we're going to go ahead and let this one go. Hopefully we get something. I want to have, at a minimum, attack and crit chance, and you know, crit damage or speed would be helpful as well. When I'm looking at that type of gear, I want to have 3 things all together, and that 4 stat, that can be pretty much anything as long as it doesn't roll into the undesirable stat. I think it's okay. Now for this one here, we have a max roll into crit chance, a max roll into attack, and effectiveness. So this actually is not a bad piece. We want at least a 23, and we have a 25. So this is sometimes gear that you can save as long as it doesn't roll too bad into effectiveness, and that could be a good piece of gear. Don't have too many more here, then we're going to go into Katie's. Alright, so we have crit chance, we have attack, and we have health as well. So in this case, you know, we want at least a 29, we got a 27, which is pretty close. Max roll into crit chance. If you were to roll this piece, you would want to avoid health and also health, flat health. And what you'll do is you'll modify it now either into speed or into crit damage. So this is something that you can choose to do. Let's go ahead and see what that one's going to look like, right? We don't need to go too far into it just to test that +3. If it rolls into either one of those stats that I don't want, automatic throw away. See, right now we have a 6 into health, which isn't bad. We want at least a 38, and we got a 36, which is also on track. But now you're going to be building a hero that has maybe bruiser stats, health and attack with crit chance, and maybe crit damage. You know, this is something that you have to consider whether you're going to keep going. For me, I think that I'm going to go ahead and stop right here and not move forward because it does not have what I want. Let's go ahead and keep that. We can utilize it onto our next rolls. Hopefully we get something else. When I see crit damage, I also want to see crit chance. These are not exclusive items, so there's not a lot of heroes that you can utilize with a crit damage and no crit chance. Something like a Charlotte, something like a Moonlight Ken or Moonlight Bellona, they all have guaranteed amount to crit, but what I like to do is I like to have gear that has crit chance. If it rolls really high into crit damage and not into crit chance, then you can mod it out and utilize those, or just keep that base level crit. Now this one here, we want a 29, we get a 27. Pretty high roll into crit, high roll into speed, and then basically you're going to utilize this on someone who's going to be a bruiser, right? Someone who doesn't want to have pen set, but still wants to be a bruiser. We're going to keep that, but not exactly what I'm looking for here. And very last one. Unfortunate. Let's go ahead and move down into Katie's, and we are going to be doing some of the chest plate. Now, on a chest plate, you cannot roll attack stat. That means attack percent or flat attack. When I'm looking at a chest plate, if you want to look at it for a damage dealing hero, then you want to make sure you have crit chance and crit damage for pretty much everyone. And then you're looking at, do I want defense? Do I want HP? Do I want maybe effectiveness or effect resist or speed? So who you're going to utilize that for is what you want to do. Again, we see a flat here, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of those. This one is also flat, so I don't want to keep that. And let's see what else we have. We're going to sell this one. Now what we have here is a pretty decent gear score. I want a 23, I get a 26. I do not like this revenge set at all. So it has to be epic gear for me to want to keep revenge set, even if it rolls all max. We have speed, we have crit damage, and we have effect resist. These things do not go together. I'm not going to keep that. If this were an epic piece of gear with a 4th substat, I might consider it, because it does have, what I want to see on the stat range. Like speed, crit chance, crit damage with effect resist can be usable on some heroes, but not on heroic piece of gear. When we're looking at this torrent set, we see that we have HP. So even though we meet our goal, we want a 23, we get a 27, which is very nice, but you don't want to stack too much health onto a torrent set because you automatically decrease by 10% already. So this is the least desirable stat on all torrent set. Speed here, effectiveness, defense, those will be much better. Now this piece here, you can definitely utilize 28. 29 is the highest for a heroic piece of gear, but this is going to be something that is like a Soul Weaver or a Night Gear, so you have to use it on an offset. I don't like to use offsets because you miss out on something like, extra stats. Like if I use Speed HP set, and that will give me 20% more health, whereas if I use this set, then I miss out on that 20% health. So this has to roll amazing for me to want to use it, and I just don't. So even though it rolls really high, not something I want to use. We see defense here, effectiveness, and effect resist. Now this is something where this can have a really high gear score, but who is going to use it? You have no heroes in the game that are going to want to have effectiveness, effect resist without speed, without a crit chance, something like that, right? These are going to be heroes that you maybe want to go first, and you want to stack up to 150 or 150 effectiveness and 150 resist and take them into RTA. But something like this is not a good combination to have. This one, not bad. We have the crit chance, we have the crit damage, we have effectiveness. So now we have something for Carmen Rose, we have something for a Helga. There's a lot of heroes that can utilize something like this. So we are going to lock this one and then let all the rest of these go. This torrent set is something that you can choose to use if you want to. We're going to go ahead and do this. That's something that you can choose to do if you want, but I don't like to have health on torrent set. Okay, let's see what else we have. So we're going to go ahead and let these ones go, and everything else we're going to extract if need be. We see it flat, we see it flat, 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 and flat. So we're going to let all of these go. Insufficient material already. You can see how easy it is just to burn through a lot of this gear. Now, if you already have a hero that you need a specific piece of gear on, then that's a little bit different than what I'm doing today. I'm looking for gear that is for the heroes that I have. And so some things you might want to keep if you have like a Moonlight Bellona sitting in your stash, right? If you have something like a Moonlight Bellona, then you might be looking for something that's health, defense, crit damage, that you can utilize on her because she has a guaranteed % chance to crit. But I don't have one, and so you kind of have to work with what you have. If I get an epic piece of gear that is maybe I can utilize in the future, then a lot of times what I will do is I will save that piece of gear so that if I ever get that hero or if I need to have that gear for a future build, that I have the option. Let's come in now. We're going to do equipment conversion. This is what I'm talking about with the gear that you want. Only extract the gear that you're going to convert to try and get something really great. Now, this is a 31 when we want at least a 29. So this is a very good thing if you have something like a Moonlight Bellona, right? So we have health, we have crit damage, and effect resist. This effectiveness, as long as you avoid this, then you might want to keep this piece of gear. You can always modify this into a defense stat later. This will also work really well on something like a Moonlight Ken. Well, I don't have those heroes, so I'm not gonna dedicate a bunch of resources for gear to use on a hero I don't have. Okay, we see it again. So now we have crit chance, defense, effect resist, and effectiveness. So as long as I can avoid either effect resist or effectiveness and roll into the other 3 stats, then this is going to be a good one to have. Can we get one more? Come on, give me something for Celine. A +5 speed. Oh my goodness. +5 speed. I just want to stare at it for a second. You have to roll this. You have to. It's an obligation, isn't it? It's an obligation. Everyone out there right now is thinking to themselves, what in the world? You have to roll it. I have to see what this is going to be. Let's go. We gotta do it. Okay, so we get a we get a +2, which is kind of awful. That means that, let's say the first roll was 3, then we got a 4, so our 5 automatically goes away. That sucks a little bit. Give me an 11, come on. Oh my, oh man. We can still salvage this. Give me an 11. Oh, now it's garbage. There was so much potential. Now it's garbage. At a +9, I want to have a 56. I'm at a 53. Think about it like this. When you modify this, you're going to get probably like 3 crit chance for if it doesn't roll into it. And then you get something like 4 crit chance on average if it rolls into it 1 time. So there's nobody that I want to utilize who wants 4 crit chance, 7 speed, 11 effectiveness, and 7 defense. Unfortunately, this did not work out for us. Man, it was almost there though. It really was. It was almost there. I felt it. I felt it in my bones, and it's too bad. Can we get this piece? Okay. So we want at least a 32. We do get a 35. Low roll there. We want a 41. We have a 42. Ideally, what I would want is to go crit chance, crit damage. Leave effectiveness alone, right? Leave that one alone. That way, on your +15 roll, that maybe you go into effectiveness. So this is right on the edge of what you want to keep. The score is good enough, but it's not something I want to continue because I don't want to have this effectiveness roll. For heroic gear, I needs to roll exactly the way I want for the first 3 rolls because that 4th roll here is unknown. So imagine this is like flat HP, right? On +15, if it rolls in a flat HP, I'm going to be super, super disappointed in this type of gear. So, man, that's too bad. We're going to go ahead and let that one go. Here's another one. This is the one that we decided we might want to choose to keep, and it rolls into health. You're automatically going to lose that 10% health, so we don't want to keep that. And that's just too bad. But that's how it goes. With all the buff events we have coming up, we're really going to try and farm out the materials and continue to build our heroes before going on into the new content. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Give me a like so other people just like you can find that as well. Until next time, happy hunting and good luck on your battles.